You to the July 8th, 2021 Board of Public Works and Safety meeting. Roll call, please. Here.
Here. Here.
Any conflict of interest statements, board members?
No, sir.
Approval of the minutes of the meeting of May 27th, 2021.
Make a motion to approve those minutes.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Bid openings? No. Right?
No.
That's a curveball. Okay. Item 6, matters from department heads and/or their representatives.
I like how you asked that question. Right? There's none right.
Good morning to the board.
Good morning.
I just found out this morning that the Little Calumet River Basin Development Commission is in the process of clearing debris underneath the Kennedy Avenue Bridge as we speak. So we didn't have any sort of note, to get permission from the board about any sort of lane restriction. So I just wanted the board to be aware that that action is underway now. It's just informed this morning.
So lane restrictions as to what? One in each direction kind of?
There'll be one lane open in each direction, but normally it's on the upstream side or the west side of the bridge that they're clearing any sort of debris that accumulates underneath the piers. Is generally what they do. This happens about once a year. They come through and clear that out. We get a lot of help from traffic in the police department to kind of help control, but it was last minute notification, so just wanted you to know what was going on over there.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you. Anything else, department heads or their representatives? Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am requesting the board's approval and signature on a purchase agreement for the fire department to purchase new heart monitors. The cost is roughly $41,000 annually. It's going to be 5 years worth of payments, and they're going to be utilizing their ambulance funds to make this purchase.
Is that for us? Okay. Sure, sure.
Okay, I will make a motion to approve that request.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Monitors? What she said, right?
Yep.
Okay. Any other department head or their representatives at all?
Mr. President, I forgot something downstairs. If I can come back later in the meeting.
Okay. All right. All right. All right, we're going to continue on then. Item 7, correspondence. Correspondence received from Mr. Dean Button, Capital Improvement Board, requesting $10,000 of CIB funding be allocated for design engineering services in the Holman Avenue restriping project, Douglas Street to 165th Street, with
Corresponding contract.
not the word of the day? No, it's not. It could be, though. Avon March?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Avon Marche?
Abinmarsh.
Abon March, okay.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. And corresponding contract submitted for approval.
I thought you got it right the first time. Thank you to the board. So one of the initiatives that we're trying to continue on is the restriping, the realign, the traffic pattern changes on Holman Avenue. We're replicating what was done south of 165th, going north to Douglas on Holman Avenue, basically creating bike lanes that will extend into the downtown area that's consistent with what the master plan is for downtown. It is a contract for $10,000 for the design and some business and sort of residential coordination that we'd like to make sure we do in advance of the actual work. It's possible that we might be able to get this work done yet this year. The funding allocation was approved by the Capital Improvements Board on Monday night, so it has gone through the controller, the mayor, and the Capital Improvements Board. So we're asking for approval of the funding allocation and the contract at this time.
Can they both be in the same motion, Kev? Or should we do one at a time?
I do one at a time.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to motion for the funding allocation initially.
Okay, I will make a motion to approve the funding allocation.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then secondly, I'll make a motion to approve the contract.
Right.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
All right, thank you. Item B, correspondence received from Mr. Button requesting $7,950 of CIB funding be allocated for design engineering services with advanced engineering services for geotechnical engineering services in the J.F. Mahoney Drive reconstruction and Florida Avenue construction design and corresponding contract submitted for approval.
Thank you again to the board. This is a funding allocation and an agreement with Advanced Engineering Services, a company that recently moved to Hammond, Geotechnical Engineering Services premier. They're in the 4th District on Calumet Avenue, about 175th, premier geotechnical services, outstanding. They, if you recall, the board and the CIB had approved an agreement with Nice Engineering for 2 different projects, J.F. Mahoney Drive reconstruction and the Florida Avenue construction, which is a new platted subdivision, a new subdivision that had been previously platted east of Parish between Orchard and 173rd. It's about a 10 or 12 lot subdivision. So what we need for engineering for advanced is to do the geotechnical work, and that is soil borings in the area so we can do a pavement design and at least validate that it's consistent with our normal pavement design. The funding allocation has been approved by the city controller, the mayor, and the capital improvements board. We're seeking your approval at this time for both of those projects. They're working in conjunction with Nice and also the contract with Advanced or AES.
Okay. And this is the same deal. We'll do the funding allocation first.
Okay. First of all, then I will make a motion to approve the funding allocation.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then secondly, I'll make a motion to approve the contract.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Item C, correspondence received from Mr. Button requesting $317,765 of CIB funding be allocated for design engineering services in the Summer Street Design, Phase 2, Willis Avenue to Indianapolis Boulevard, with American Structure Point and corresponding contract submitted for approval.
So representatives from American Structure Point are here, Mr. John Kennedy and Mr. Eric Wolverton, if I can't answer any particular questions the board might have. This is Phase 2 of Summer Street. The Northwestern Indiana Regional Planning Commission, NRPC, had approved Phase 1 construction of this project to fund through Surface Transportation Block Grant 80-20 match, right, to do the segment of Summer between Columbia and Willis. So when additional federal funding became available as it relates to congressional additional appropriations, NRPC was a recipient of that. Phase 2 was approved previously by NRPC to come into play in 2025, their fiscal year, late 24 or early 25, so their fiscal year 2025. When NRPC got additional funds, they managed to move this project forward because we were really uniquely positioned to, since we were already in design of Phase 1, we could easily finish the design on Phase 1 and Phase 2 together and go to construction as one overall project. So American Structure Point they've already gone out and done some survey work in anticipation of this particular work on that segment between Willis and Indianapolis Boulevard so that we could keep the project going. All the environmental work was part of Phase 1 anyway for the entire segment, so we were really ready to go. That freed up NERC to do other appropriations for other projects for them. And so it was really a win-win for everyone. So we're asking for approval. The funding allocation was approved by the city controller and the mayor and the capital improvements board then on Tuesday night. So we're seeking your approval on the funding allocation and the agreement with American Structure Point for design of Phase 2 of Summer Street. And if you have any questions for me or American Structure Point representatives, happy to take those.
You got any questions?
No.
Wish they did. I wish I had
I
questions.
wish I
for
could
them.
be smart enough to ask them, yeah.
Okay, so, all right, we'll do the funding allocation first.
Okay. So I will make a motion to approve the funding allocation, first of all.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then secondly, I will make a motion to approve the agreement with American Structure Point.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you to the board.
Thank
and
you.
I will be back later for more information. Thank you.
Thank you.
Look forward to it. Item D. Correspondence received from Chief of Police William A. Short requesting Correctional Officer Jackson McNamee receive a promotional raise effective June 22nd, 2021. Officer Jeremy Sandella to receive K-9 specialty pay effective June 17th, 2021. And Word Made Flesh Ministries requesting permission to hold a community barbecue and grill block party on Saturday, August 28th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and 700 Kane Street and the alley in back of their building be blocked. I wonder if they got I think they just got a huge parking lot back behind there.
They do. We actually talked to them.
It's behind the church, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So no street blocking, just the alley between the parking lot and the building, right?
Right.
Okay.
But I don't know, do you think they need
I would,
barricades for that?
I would
Send it
think
to
they need barricades to block the alley, I would.
Public safety?
Yeah.
Okay. I will make a motion then to approve Chief Short's request and forward the information to Public Works and Safety for any barricades or items that are needed.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item E, correspondence received from Second District Councilman Pete Torres requesting $25,000 of gaming funds be allocated for summer park activities and improvements. It's a funding allocation request form. I've never seen one before. It must be something new. It's been approved by the councilman, the mayor, as well as the city controller. Just, I was looking for green, but
Yeah,
it's yellow.
Okay.
Is this something new, Megan? Okay. New form? Okay. No, it's signed by all the parties that we're concerned with, so.
Okay, I will make a motion then to approve Councilman Torres' request.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right, yeah, Mr. President, just briefly, if there's a gaming fund allocation, you'll see that there won't be anything from utilities or for CIB or anything like that. It'll just be controller, mayor, councilman, board.
Right. Got it. All right, thank you. Item F, correspondence received from United Bridge Partners requesting permission to close the Klein Avenue Bridge beginning Friday, July 9th and continuing to October 4th, 2021 for a planned overlay project. Yeah, we're going to go back to how it's been, right?
So, good morning.
Good morning.
I received this from this fella, Terry. He's the general manager of operations for the Klein Avenue Bridge LLC. And what they are doing is paving, some maintenance. It's going to be closed basically from 8 o'clock on a Friday to 6 a.m. Sunday, or Monday. Let me see what it is. Monday, 6 a.m. So they are closing down at Calumet, so there's not going to be any eastbound traffic. Eastbound traffic from Illinois will be able to get off on Calumet. So,
Like it had been in the past, right?
right, basically, that's the same way. And I did mention a fest, and he was going to see if he can change that schedule for that particular weekend, and he's looking into that. We did ask him.
Is this just going to be on the weekends?
Yes,
So during that entire time frame, just
eastbound's
weekends.
going to be closed, period, all the way to where the ramps are getting off to the mill. I'm not familiar with if that's 20. So they are shutting it down, so there's not going to be any traffic when they're paving, period.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and I voiced this over to our city engineer yesterday, right?
This is different.
Different part of Klein Avenue?
It's the main line, not the substructure that reroutes.
So is this going to affect the ability for people to get off Klein or utilize Klein Avenue during the festival?
We are asking them to defer their work for that weekend, and we're waiting for a response from them.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they just give us notice. So
Sure.
it's kind of one of those situations, as Dean explained to me yesterday, where we try to have good communication with them, but at the end of the day, you know, they give us notice.
It's their right of way, it's difficult to, but we've told them that this is important. In fact, I followed up with the other contractor regarding the substructure work to see what we could do about accommodating a different subject. But this in particular, you know, we're just asking them to skip a weekend so that we can have the fest, and then they can, you know, they'll extend their period
Sure.
for one weekend.
Right.
It's presumed.
Right.
So as soon as we hear back, at this stage, it's just a matter of record because it's their right of way.
Right.
Okay.
So we'll just hope for the best, basically, yeah.
Yes, and also there's a concurrence for the, it's a concurrence for temporary use of detouring from the state highway. They need a signature. And basically, the detour would be Calumet.
Right.
From Klein to Chicago Avenue, all the way to, I believe, Kennedy in East Chicago.
Right.
A
Yeah.
good portion's not in the city of Hammond.
Yeah.
Then we don't need to approve the request, right? We don't have any say-so anyway, right?
Are we just acknowledging?
Yeah, acknowledging as far as the detour is concerned, I mean, again, I think it would be tough to have a detour, us agree to a detour during the middle of the festival. We have thousands of cars that we usually don't have on the road that weekend. So I don't know if our city engineer has any comment on signing the concurrence for the detour, but I'd like to have it accepted out that weekend where we have that week where we have fest.
We could certainly do that. I think this is a board action, but we could amend this response to say, except on the.
Whatever those dates
17th,
are.
Yeah,
the-
13th to the 18th.
Right.
What's the weekend? So 16th, 17th, 18th, right?
Oh, they're not doing any work during the week? They're-
Only on the weekend.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right?
Yeah,
Friday,
16th,
Saturday,
17th,
Sunday, right?
The 16th through the 18th.
Correct. So we could accept, approve.
Subject to July, whatever those three.
Except for the 16th, 17th, and 18th of July. We concur with their rerouting, their detour plan. Thanks, Mike.
Okay, so we would motion that.
Yes.
We would approve that.
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
So then I'll make a motion to approve the detour route excluding the weekend of July 16th, 17th, and 18th.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Page 2. Item G, correspondence received from Fire Chief Jeffrey C. Smith requesting Sebastian Diaz, Bryce Sapinski, Kyle Dunlap, and Adam Falk be appointed to the Hammond Fire Department.
Good.
Yep.
Make a motion to approve Chief Smith's request.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item H, correspondence received from Ms. Elizabeth Vasquez, 2650 162nd Place, requesting the demolition order placed on her garage be released.
Just receiving the request. Good morning, Board.
Good morning.
I have not been by the property. I have not seen if there are any permits or any work has been done on this garage and why she would request it to be off the demolition list. My understanding, the house is for sale. That may be part of it.
Just let me, her email says she's selling her home. The Realtor said she needs a release of the demolition order. The new owners will be repairing the garage and bringing it back to city code. That's what she says.
And I've heard that many times.
I believe it. I understand.
As long as the people that are buying it know that the demolition order is in place and they intend to fix it, we will certainly work with them in any manner we can. Releasing the order may just lead us to filing again. It shouldn't be anything to hinder the sale if they are intending to fix it.
Deny?
Okay.
I mean, she could take it subject to the order, and then she,
Sure.
and we require that generally, we're not just gonna release it.
You got it.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'm going to make
Thank
a
you.
motion to deny Ms. Vasquez's request.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item I, correspondence received from Mr. Juan, forgive me, Huizar, requesting a rental registration hearing set for July 29, 2021, be rescheduled to July 22nd, 2021, as he will be out of town.
I'm good with that. You?
Yeah, I'm good with that, sure.
Okay. Okay, I will make a motion to approve his request.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Matters from board members. Mr. Long, I believe you had something?
Yes, sir. I do have one thing here. Have a letter from Chris Campbell requesting permission be given to Comcast to install internet service for the Hammond Police Gun Range. So and if nobody has any comment on that, I'd like to make a motion to approve that request.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Anything else? Mr. Perez?
No, sir.
Okay, new business. Item A, rental registration hearing on property located at 3837 Oak Crest Lane, 7150 Southeastern Avenue, 6602 Colorado Avenue, 257 Locust Street, and 6257 Holman Avenue.
I believe Attorney Solward was representing these properties the last time around. They were previously set for, I believe, June 17th. I don't know if, have you heard of them? I have all the paperwork ready. The main concern with a few of these properties are 3 out of the 5 have had homestead tax exemptions applied throughout the current owner's ownership. Now, they did have a recorded land contract in place for the majority of those years, which would permit the occupant to claim a homestead tax exemption. I do have all the documents and paperwork prepared for them to sign and submit. However, if you'd like to set it over a week, I can. Right.
Sign.
1 week?
No, that's why I'm.
Yeah, he actually came and requested that discontinuance.
That's what I was,
himself,
yeah.
So,
If we could set it over for a week, I can get these to Attorney Sword so that he can have them processed.
All right.
okay. So
1 week it
what's
is.
Next week's meeting? What day is it?
15th?
16th?
15, July 15?
Okay. Okay, then I will make a motion to set those properties over to next week's meeting, July 15th, was it?
Yes.
July 15th, 2021?
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
Aye. No ability to mulct on that one, right?
No, none. Nope.
Okay. Item B, emergency demolition hearing on property located at 1219 150th Street.
Good morning to the board.
Morning.
Good morning.
This is a property that we notified the board last week that due to its condition, we were going to request emergency demolition. Over the past week, we have sent a notice out to Mr. Perot. I believe he's here this morning. Morning, sir. We've also posted notice on the building. I can show the board pictures of that, so it has that in its record. And I'd also like to present to the board photographs and the inspection report so that it can also view the condition of the property. So if I could approach.
Certainly.
The condition of the property, as you can see, is pretty significantly impaired as a result of a fire and some damage that was on the property recently. It's become when I was out there posting the notice, I actually spoke to the neighbor who indicated that it has been a problem for some time and it's become a danger. He had two of his sons with him, little boys that were with him that he was putting in the car, and I asked him, and he said, yeah, this is just the latest. If you know, the garage is a whole different story, but you can actually see pictures of the garage, and that's going to be subject of another demolition request, but that, of course, is not part of the emergency demolition request. The emergency has to do with what's happening on the sidewalk, and so I'm going to ask the head of inspections, Mr. Kearney, to come up and speak about the condition of the property based on his inspection and review. I know that Mr. Castro, who's not here today, also did an inspection, and Mr. Kearney is going to speak specifically to the condition of the property and why we believe that we're operating under an emergency demolition rather than a regular demolition. The emergency demolition, of course, is under 36799, which doesn't require notice, but we always try to give notice if we can. And obviously, Mr. Perot received that notice. So if Mr. Kearney could speak as to the condition of the property, and then, of course, Mr. Perot has every opportunity to present any evidence he has to you and speak on the property. So I'll turn it over to Mr. Kearney for a second, and then we'll go from there.
Certainly.
This is a call out from the east wall. It had fallen, brick facade fallen between two buildings, the bar next door and the building itself. That was on a Saturday, and a Sunday, the southeast corner front facade had fallen off also. That was going into the sidewalk. Went to the building on Monday morning, noticed that windows were fully accessible, nothing to stop anyone from getting in. Being able to see those, the floor and the ceiling down, floor's gone, so there's no structure.
Main floor?
Main floor, you see in one of those pictures, the floor is actually gone. Any first responder going in there is going to be in peril. Kids, neighborhoods, or neighborhood children, young adults will be attracted to that. It's an unsafe building in the greatest terms. The garage is also in very bad shape.
Is the garage part of this or no?
The garage is not part of this request, no.
Okay.
And here's a picture, Mr. President, of the floor.
Okay, got it. Got it.
Yeah, we get it, yeah.
Ripped that out myself.
Hasn't even been there for a while.
I've been working there. Tearing it up.
We're concerned with, as you can see, the joists are in pretty bad shape. Not being able to get in the building, or is it safe to even enter, are those joists capable of even holding a floor? Again, I believe it's as unsafe as a building can get.
So, you know, I just want to make sure the record is clear that you've received the photographs, you've received the inspection report, you've received the testimony of Mr. Kearney. In addition, of course, the Unsafe Building Act, when we act in an emergency manner, is to clear what is the current emergency. So I'd like Mr. Kearney to speak as to what demolition he believes is necessary currently to eliminate the present danger and emergency to the public.
The main structure itself, with the brick facade off, the floor gone, ceilings down, and not being able to get in and check the joists of the structures, if it could even sustain a floor with a live load, people, furniture and everything else. The main structure needs to be down, in my opinion, as soon as possible. It, again, is as unsafe as a building can get. Anyone who was to enter that could be in peril.
So when did the walls fall?
So week last Saturday.
A week prior to this past weekend?
We're correct.
Okay, okay.
Correct.
And so then the report was done on the 28th. Was it done after or prior to
After.
the wall?
After.
Okay.
And
Okay.
the wall falling is what
Yeah.
prompted all this action,
Got it,
and then
okay.
actually put us on the premises.
Okay.
So clearing the brick, from clearing the brick, have we had any, do we believe it's structurally impaired, Kelly? Yes. Okay, and clearing the brick immediately is going to clear that off of any public way, correct?
Correct. The sidewalk is now blocked off.
Yep, sidewalk's blocked, but there's brick, I mean, they're really close, to, as you can see, to the public way. In addition, is there a concern about that east wall falling?
Yes, absolutely.
And there was a fire, is that right?
I'm not aware of.
No fire, okay. Yeah, I might have been mistaken about the fire. Okay, anything else, Mr. Kearney? All right, I'm going to then request the board to grant the city's request for an emergency demolition based upon the condition of the property and the danger that it presents currently to the public. Not only those that live near there, there's a bar, Dick's Are You Crazy is directly to the east, and then on the west side is a residence, and I did speak to that gentleman, and he voiced his concern. So I'll ask Mr. Perot then if he'd like to respond to the city's request. He's also able to present to you any evidence that he'd like. Sir, you have the floor.
I have owned the property for a while, and I've not been making a lot of money. I haven't been able to keep up with it as I would like. And I came back this year to try to fix it, and that's why you can see the floors. I tore everything out down to the studs, trying to see what kind of damage there was. And I was airing the house out. That's why I had the windows. There's no broken windows. I just have them open so it's drying out. I was trying to get it to a point where I could evaluate it, and that big storm came and it just wiped that wall out. And I have an insurance claim in on the wall. If I could just get the wall up and get a roof on it, I had it sold, but because of this notice, I can't, they backed out on me. And I have like 5 different people that want to buy the property if I can, get it released, and they'll bring it back up into code. I have to have a little bit of leniency.
So how long has it been vacant, sir?
It's been vacant for quite a while. I come back every year, and I usually stay in there for a little while but this year I couldn't do it. The property, the ceilings were down this year.
What is quite a while?
About 5 years.
5 years.
Like I said, I do come back every year and stay in it and spend a little time in the summer and work, but I've been working out of state, especially during this COVID. I couldn't find a job here.
Mr. Perot, could we have your current address, just because I want to make sure if any notice goes to the right place, because right now we just have that.
1219 150th Street is the only address I have right now.
And that's your address?
Yeah.
You can use that as an address for notice and make it worse.
Yeah, I get my mail there.
Who's your insurance company
Water since
I have
that you made the claim to about the wall?
I don't know the name of the company, but
But you have it?
I have it.
Okay, you made a claim, so you're telling the board here that you made a claim to an insurance company on the wall?
Here, let me,
Yes or no?
yes. I was going to bring it up and show you. They're coming out on the 13th to look at it. They told me to get, to try to clean the side up. I put up 6-foot fence in the front now, because the sale dropped through on my birthday on the 6th. So I only had 1 day to shift into gear myself and before this meeting. So, I have cleaned up a lot of the brick, but 1 day is not enough to clean it all up. I'll clean up the brick, and I'll push down, and I'll get an estimate myself also for the insurance company. They asked me to do that when I talked to them before they get here. So, but with the storm, they said they can't even get here till the 13th to look at it.
Our concern is that if there's another storm that comes through, what else?
Right.
Well, I'm going to try to have, I saved up enough money to do the roof this year. I just haven't had a chance. I was trying to clean it out to see the damage before, I've already emptied 2 30-yard dumpsters out of the house. That's why you can see the floors. Otherwise, you wouldn't have, the ceilings came down on me this year.
And again, that's a concern. The ceilings are coming down.
But the braces and everything, the wood is all still good. I mean, there's a little bit of damage on the floor there, but the upper beams are all still solid.
Sir, I think you have to understand, though, in the meantime, while you're waiting for this insurance company or waiting for somebody to buy it,
Oh, I'm
waiting
gonna-
to do the ceiling, listen to me for a second. that's another day that a brick can fall, a wall can fall and hurt somebody. That's what we have to consider. I understand your situation, but you have to understand our side of it, liability-wise and other things that we take on when we get this in front of us. So you have to consider that when we're deciding what we're going to decide today.
I understand that. Like I said,
I just want to make sure you are clear on that, you go back to wherever you live and people walk by that building every day.
that's why I put the 6-foot fence up in front of it.
I understand that, but you don't think kids climb over fences or go around fences?
And I am going to keep working on cleaning up the brick, and I will knock down any loose brick and try to make it, when the bricklayers get there. I have a nice pile stacked up right now of clean, chipped-off brick, and I'm trying to open up that sidewalk so that if the bar had to come out that door or whatever. I'm trying, but I only had one day. Like I said, my sale dropped through because of this. Somebody would, they actually signed on the house with the wall down. They wanted it so bad. But then I got this notice and they dropped out.
Mr. Kearney?
The situation with this building is such that I would not allow a permit to be issued to do any type of work there without structural engineer reports, without contractors going and establishing what needs to be done, the safety of the building as far as support beams and roof truss. It's not safe for our inspectors to go in. Obviously, there's no floor. We're not going to go in and walk balancing beams to try to get pictures and reports. Structural engineer report estimates from a licensed contractor. If this is going to be, is this going to be a residential or commercial or both?
It's residential right now. It's my home.
So-
I haven't been able to live in it this year.
Residential general, give us an estimate idea of what needs to be done, putting them at risk to do whatever evaluation needs to be done instead of our inspectors who we can see the building is unsafe. It's clearly unsafe. If anything was going forward, I would never issue a permit for someone to do any work on there without at least a structural engineer report.
Sir, you say that you've been living there, how often? When you're there, how long are you there?
I'm a couple months during the summer.
Couple months? I mean, we see that the water's been off for 7 years.
The power's there. There's electricity. There's nothing else. There's no gas.
Just
You can't be there in the winter.
Just electricity?
Yes.
What is the timeline for emergency demolitions? Mr. Smith, if you can.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends. Like, for example, like, let's look at Hammond and Wildwood, right? When that came down, the contractors out there within 24 hours to clear the, to help the fire department.
Right.
But then I think
right.
the rest of it took a couple weeks to make sure the electric was off, make sure that, I mean, it'll take a little bit of time for us to cut the electric on this place once the board makes an order.
So my point being, sir, we're going to give you a little bit of leeway here to make things that might work to the city's satisfaction, but I think we're inclined to approve the emergency demolition today.
So what do I have to do to stop it?
Well, you said you've had some people that want to buy the property, but they can't because of that order is put on the property.
Right?
You have, the statute of the law gives you 10 days to appeal, once the order's entered, which the order will probably be entered next week because we have to write it up. You can, under the statute, appeal to the Superior Court in 10 days if you file a notice of appeal of the court's action. But as far as dealing with Mr. Turney, I guess, Kelly, I don't know if you have anything you want to.
The first thing I would need is a structural engineer report saying that the building is sound to be rebuilt.
As it stands right now.
As it stands right now. What would be needed to improve that?
And I would say you definitely need to get the bricks going. Those need to be picked. Those need to be.
Needs to be cleaned up, the sidewalk needs to be
immediately. Because if we have to do them, we're going to just put a lien on your property.
I understand. Well, I can clean the bricks up. I've already got a big pile, like I said, of clean bricks. I will clean the bricks up. I will even knock the loose ones off so nobody gets hurt. And I'll do that probably before the weekend. Like I said, I had it sold. I thought I was.
You got to understand that selling the property doesn't make it better in our eyes, because that just means we have to deal with somebody else with the same problem that we got today.
If I get
you see what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if you're going to sell it. So if you want to keep bringing up that you almost sold it, that's great, but it's not going to help you in front of this board.
I know, I'm just trying to, I just had it for 25 years. I don't know, I'd hate to lose it, that's all, without getting anything for it and actually owing more money.
I mean, possibly Mr. Kearney can give you some direction as to who you may be able to contact that he would be satisfactory with if they gave him a written report about the building's condition as it currently sits today, and maybe that might be enough to get you a little bit of time, possibly.
Yeah, if
We're
I
trying-
can get the
we're trying to
wall
work
and the
with you
roof
here,
done,
but
would that,
I'm just thinking if the wall didn't fall, you may not even be here today but the condition of the building is still the condition of the building, and you yourself said it's been that way for 5 years.
I'm not denying that at all, sir. I have been, I've been, like I said, my money hasn't been right for quite a while. I haven't had money to put.
So your problem is now, because of the walls, become the city's problem now, and it's our responsibility to try and make it right.
Right, and
That's all.
I've been trying to make it right. I came into town with the little bit of extra money I had to try to make it, to fix the roof and stuff like that. I was fully intending on it. I just didn't, I ran out of time.
Considering his opportunity to appeal within 10 days, set this for 2 weeks. In that time, I'd expect a structural engineer report to say that the building is sound to go forward, and then some kind of game plan on who's going to do the work. And it's going to be a residence. I got zoning issues that I believe it would be a legal non-conforming. It's close to either building on either side to be rebuilt. So we're going to be visiting Brian Poland and the planning department to make sure that paramount replace you got in the current code and include zoning. So there's issues, there's hurdles. I would need that structural engineer report before that next hearing.
Can you give me somebody that would do that for
I
me?
will email me, let me get some recommendations. We'll go forward and then
And could I get a couple recommendations for a good brick guy?
let's get the structural engineer report because there's no permits going to be going.
Can I at least clean it up and make it a little more
Absolutely.
safe?
Clean it up,
We
make
appreciate
it safe,
that.
otherwise we're gonna do it and we're gonna bill you.
Okay.
I'm going to also have to connect you with Brian Poland from the planning and development to make sure you conform zone-wise.
So I'd request on behalf of the city, as far as the emergency demolition order goes, to demo or repair, the emergency portion should be to clear the brick immediately. That has to be done.
Okay,
If that's not done within 7 days, we're gonna do it.
all right.
And we'll have to hire somebody and then bill them for it. And then I would set it over for,
I'll do that this weekend.
and then we'll have a report. So if we could set it for status on the emergency portion of the demo for next Thursday, I think that'd be great. So we could set it over and we could figure out whether the bricks have been cleaned up for the 15th.
Okay.
I mean, I think we expect to have some kind of report by a structural engineer by then too, right? Or at least one started.
If we can get him in touch with the structural engineer, I know that, like, for example, Bill Hutton, that's a great start because he's got people that he deals with on structural issues. I would recommend him, and I'm sure Kelly will recommend him and maybe a couple other people.
See the stack of clean brick,
And then if we
I cleaned this whole
could set
section.
the rest of it
I'm at least
over
trying.
for 2 weeks after that, maybe that first August meeting.
You can go to
On
the 29th or?
I'll be out of town.
Okay, that's my first.
Unless Kelly wants to handle it on the 29th.
August 5th.
We're going to set it for the 29th. I don't need to be here. Kelly can handle that.
Okay.
But as far as the emergency order, if the board, or I should say, the request of the city is that the board grant the city's emergency demolition order related to the bricks, and that needs to be cleaned up immediately. And as for the rest of it, the demolition order for the
We'll go
rest of the
2 weeks
building,
beyond
request that be set over to the 29th.
2 weeks beyond that, okay.
Okay, so first of all, I'll make a motion then to approve or grant the city's request for an emergency demolition order. By next week's meeting, which is July 15, 2021, we're going to set that date for status as far as the brick cleanup is concerned. And you need to have that all cleaned up by next week, okay?
I'll have it cleaned up by the 15th, no problem.
Okay, so that's part of the order, we need that cleaned up by next week. And then the rest of we will have a hearing on August 5th,
July 29th.
July 29th, sorry, July 29th for the rest of the order.
Which would be the structural engineer's
Yeah,
report.
we have a.
So,
So the 15th, you got to come back next Thursday, 9 o'clock,
Is that all one
and you
motion?
got to come back the 29th.
right?
Yeah, that's
Can it be one motion, Kevin, both dates?
Yeah.
Okay.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I appreciate the little bit of time.
All right, sir. And like I say, we're here to help you and try and work with you. That's always the best way to go. So good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item B, that goes there. Item C. Plat of the re-subdivision of Block 2, Cabela's Gateway to the addition to the City of Hammond submitted for approval.
On behalf of the Plan Commission, we would ask the board to approve the plat. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the plat.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item D, right-of-way permit submitted for approval by the Engineering Department.
Well, good morning again.
Good morning.
A number of those permits are from NIPSCO, and they are starting conflict resolutions for the South Shore. So there's going to be a bunch of them coming in. I have still in review 3 of them. Sitting down with the engineering staff, we did discuss, this is by the bike trail. I would approve those subject to not being any kind of work or during the WAM, which I believe is the 8th and 9th,
What, August, right?
7th and 8th.
the 7th and 8th.
Evening of the 7th into the morning of the 8th.
Most of these should be done, but considering it's NIPSCO and NIPSCO's subcontractors with storms and so forth, the duration may be a little bit longer, but I think the longest permit gives it to the August 13th. So as long as they're aware of it, I did talk to the permit director. Unfortunately, they're on vacation this week. So it is in an email to them. I emailed the law department with that information. So the contractor needs to be aware they can't work there at that particular
Right, on
time.
the 7th and the 8th.
7th and the 8th. And most of these are just flag people, so it should be open during the day
Okay.
and not affect anything. So I would recommend approval.
I'll make a motion to, as long as it excludes those 2 dates.
Yeah, we're going to approve them with the exception of no work to be done along the bike trail
At that particular dates, yes.
on August 7th and 8th.
Okay, so then I will make a motion to approve the right-of-way permits as long as it excludes the 7th and 8th near the bike trail.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Show me some love. Let's see. Item, ooh, whoa, a lot of mulch in there.
He's trying to get
Disposal authorization submitted for approval. Item E.
extra credit.
Get rid of that. That's a BAM sprinkles, man.
That's what I gave you one earlier.
Nice. Let's see.
I will make a motion to approve the disposal authorizations.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item F, some certificate of liability insurance for Festival of the Lakes. Pretty straightforward, I presume?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Megan, like to comment on that at all? Okay.
I make a motion to approve the certificate of liability.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item G, garage sale permit submitted for approval.
This one's not signed, but
Oh, wow, you must have sold that property, man. Wow.
check that out.
Oh, boy.
Okay, I will make a motion to approve the garage sale permits.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item H, rental registration hearing on property located at 4818 Magnolia Avenue. Just about there. Just about there.
It's For 4818 Magnolia, we have a single-family home owned by Mr. Pineda. He is the only owner of record listed with Lake County. The only previous concern we have with rental registration was back in 2011 when it first became registered. But since that date, he is registered on time every year and only has missed 2021.
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward there. Okay.
Good.
Yep.
You want to know why, or no, do you care? Why?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, on December 28, I broke my collarbone and I had a surgery on my collarbone. So January 6th, I had a surgery. So I decided to go to Puerto Rico and stay over there for a while. And pain was so severe. And I had owned a little house over there that had been damaged since hurricane. So I was trying to fix it up too. And April 15, I had my flight back, but then I decided to take my shot in my vaccination. And so I had to wait for June 3rd, so I come back June 3rd. So I came over here to the office to see if I can postpone my thing. And the thing is that I live in a fixed income. So I had $500. It was got too much money for me, so I figured if I can go down and register. I mean, I got liability insurance. I got everything in their little house.
We're good, right?
You're good, yeah.
No. I appreciate your candor, sir.
Yes. I will make a motion to waive the late fee for 4818 Magnolia Avenue.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sir, you can register at the end of today's meeting if you just want to hang out there.
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Nice. Item I, rental registration hearing on property located at 1503 Myrtle Avenue. Man, did it sell?
Huh?
Did that property sell?
It did. Actually,
Really?
yep.
What?
So the individual who purchased it, actually, transfer date shows April 14th of 21. So, no, last conversation I had with Mr. Chan, he was aware of the requirement to convert the 3-unit to a 2-unit property. He does have himself listed as occupying one of the units. So he did purchase it the day before the deadline, and he is hiring contractors to assess what it would potentially take to have it remain a 3-unit, which he's in his right to explore that option, as well as perform the conversion and how to easily change the flow of the property. I do believe it'll be taken back to a 2-unit with, it looks like he's listed as living in one, which wouldn't be subject to the rental registration requirements. If Mr. Chan is here, maybe he can shed some.
So we recognize it as a 2-unit, correct?
Correct, yeah. It is legally based on the permit history and the case that was presented in front of the board to remove it and the approval of that findings and orders, we would recognize the property as a 2-unit.
Good morning.
Morning. I'm the one crazy enough to buy 1503 Myrtle.
Yeah, you must be.
Yeah, and Kelly, nice to meet you in person. A few questions for you afterwards. Yeah, so this isn't about 3-unit or 2-unit. Sorry about that whole debacle. That was frankly a lie from the previous seller that we sussed out with learning from the deed restriction about the legal use of the unit. So really just here today, we bought it the day before the deadline, and just an honest mistake in terms of missing it. We knew we were getting into a project buying the place, but, just kind of got the kitchen sink thrown at us with like sewage, smells, floods, all sorts of things that kind of filled up our brain space ahead of the registration. So honest mistake, sorry about that. Would love to get the fee waived and also make sure that it's legally registered going forward.
Is there somebody in the other unit?
Did you inherit?
Yeah, so when we inherited the building, they were off a lease. Since then, we got them on a lease, and part of the registration will be to get them on.
Occupying one of the apartments?
Yeah, we live there now. We've lived there since we moved there.
So then you're going to want an affidavit for these guys, or for him? No?
He
No.
has to register
Oh.
one of the units.
Okay.
And then as long as he they will provide him with a partial homestead exemption for the space which he occupies as his personal residence.
Okay.
And not only do I want to waive the fee, I want to pay the $5 for you. Okay, I'll make a motion to waive the late fee for 1503 Myrtle.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good one. That's a bad sprinkle right there for you, bro. Okay, that's, all right. Item 10, old business. Item A, status, first extension to agreement to rehabilitate property located at 252 through 54 Douglas Street.
This property is moving along nicely, but is from being converted from a 5-unit to a single-family home. Obviously, there's a lot of work that goes into that. There's some foundation issues, so it's dragging on a little further. I'd like the board to affirm their extension, so we can go and get permits updated and get this project finished. It's actually coming along very nice. Right across from the federal courthouse on Douglas. You drive by, you see that what was one of the most cut-up houses I've ever been in, to actually a nice-looking single-family home.
How long is the extension?
You don't have the extension, though. This was a status, so I think, did you just have a copy of the old one?
This is a status.
Right, do you have a copy of the original? Is that what that is? Is that it?
The front page.
Yeah, so then we don't have any new document in front of us. Okay.
No.
So what we're probably going to do is prepare a new document to get in front of you. I think we just set it for status when we signed that one. Because it's coming up on the expiration.
So do we need to set it as status again for?
No, if you could just, I think it was just to acknowledge, get a status for Mr. Kearney, and then what we will do is once the extension's ready to go for we'll put it in front of you.
All right.
So no action needed.
All right, thank you. Okay, item 11, meetings open to the public. Is there anybody here care to speak about anything? Yes, ma'am.
Hold on one second.
Come on, wait till you come up.
Wait till you get up here.
So we can all hear you. Thank you. If you could just give your name and address.
Okay, it's Patricia Williams, 1017 Cleveland, Hammond, Indiana. Hi.
Sure, go ahead.
All right. I had a block party last year for Caitlin Care. We had a young lady, which is my best friend, daughter. She was killed at Coach's Corner. And we try to keep her name alive by having a block party and a backpack drive every year. So we're trying to do it 3 times. We're trying to do it for the 24th of July, the 1st of August, and the 21st of August.
You said block party, and what was the second part you said?
It's a backpack drive.
A backpack drive, okay.
Yes, it was peaceful last year, real nice. So that's what we're trying to do. I was not expecting to come speak today. You see, I'm not ready.
So you mentioned 3 dates?
Yes.
You're going to pick one of those dates, or are they all 3?
We want all 3. I'm going to tell you why. Because we want it from 1 to 4. The first one, we didn't get it done, the stuff together to get it done for the 24th. And we didn't have the flyers made out. Last year we had it together. This year we really didn't. I didn't know if she wanted to do it because they just sentenced the guy.
Sure.
And I didn't know how she would feel about having, it again. So she chose to have it again, and she was asking for those 3 dates.
What was the third date? July 24th, August 1st, and what's the third date?
August 21st.
21st.
I'm not for sure when the kids go back to school, but we wanted to make sure everybody, got a backpack, so.
And all will be at 1017 Cleveland? Is that the location?
Yes.
Is it going to require street closure?
Yes, from 1 to 4.
1 p.m. to 4 p.m., all 3 dates?
Yes.
Signatures from neighbors.
Where it's at?
On Cleveland Street.
I'm guessing on Cleveland, right?
Yeah, 1,000 block, yes. And I got the signatures of everybody.
Oh, you do already?
Yes, I do.
Awesome, awesome. All right, that's good. All right. Thank you, Mr. Smith.
I didn't know I was coming today either.
Quite a few.
So will you need some things like barricades for
Yes.
each end of the street type of thing?
Just one end, just the one end, because it's a one-way.
Okay.
So just the one end coming around the bend.
It's kind of like we're with school.
We're talking the 1,000 block of
Yes.
Cleveland.
And the only thing I would say is maybe both ends, because if they can't get through on one end, they'll try to go around and go the wrong way or something, so, I mean,
Actually, they won't.
They-
I've been there 21 years, and no.
then I will make,
The police, well,
yeah, I really think we should close off, I mean, it doesn't
That's
hurt to
fine.
close
I
off
mean,
the
it's
other end
fine.
just to make
It's
sure.
fine.
Because people get angry sometimes or whatever, and they try to go down the wrong way.
Okay.
But-
and
So
on
are-
that block, you might want to close it off a little bit, because you know how it comes around the corner?
Yes, yeah,
You might want to close it off back toward the other street, right?
Yes.
Because that way no one.
gives them a way out, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you doing flyers and things? So is
Yes.
this going to be some type of advertising that you guys are doing, right?
Yes, we're doing
Okay.
flyers,
Okay.
yes. We just didn't have time enough to put it together, so,
And obviously your neighbors, they're all into
Oh, yes.
it for all 3
Yes.
days, no problem?
Yes,
Okay,
no problem.
Very good, awesome, okay.
Okay, then I will make a motion to approve Ms. Williams' request for the 3 dates from 1 PM to 4 PM and forward her request to Public Works for any barricades that are needed.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye?
Aye. All right,
Thank you.
all right,
thank you very much.
All right.
Is anybody else? Anybody else?
Coming back.
Meeting open to the public, anybody else? Are you going to speak? I do remember that, but this is the second time. Oh, yeah, see, the controller's not here.
Controller doesn't need to be here, sir. This action came in after the cutoff for the agenda, and I apologize for that. So it came in late yesterday afternoon. As you recall, last week, the board opened up bids for Schneider Avenue, the 7,000 block, and then the 171st Wicker? No, that's 71st to the college, right? That little segment. It's a stormwater project. We opened bids. We have a bid recommendation from HWC Engineering. 4 bids were received. The low, responsive, and responsible bidder is Gary Up Construction in the amount of $525,735 even. We ask that the board award the contract at this time. I will let you know that on Tuesday, a funding request had made it to the Capital Improvements Board, contingent upon the mayor's approval. So we don't have that back yet. I am told by the clerk's office that that has been received.
What was addendum 1, the acknowledgement of addendum 1 that was missing?
A time extension,
Time extension.
giving them more time to complete the project. In light of the difficulty in obtaining materials, contractor had, a contractor, not Gary Up, but a contractor had recommended extending the bid date, the completion date of the project. Otherwise, we would have been subject to a much higher cost because they would have built in liquidated damages into the project because they could not meet the completion date as was originally proposed. So as you notice in the bid, the indiscretion by the low bidder was that they did not acknowledge the addendum. I can reach out to the contractor, making sure that they are aware of the understanding of the latitude they've been given to complete the project, see if there's any sort of cost break
But
to
that's
the
not going to
city.
impact us financially, right?
Well, if anything, we'd get a credit back, right? They didn't acknowledge the addendum, but they were the low bidder by about $60,000. So I would presume that was just an administrative oversight on their behalf. I can't speak for them, of course.
Yeah.
So we're asking that you, this is a public health risk, right? This is a problem with the residents on the 7,000 block of Schneider who routinely have sewage backing up in their basement. This will resolve that problem, this design. And so it's urgent that we get this project moving forward. We're asking for the board's approval to award. You will have a funding allocation. So there was an original funding allocation that this board approved to a lesser amount of the bid amount previously. It was $460,000. You will see a follow-up to that funding agreement that has since been approved by the city controller, by the mayor, and contingent on the Capital Improvements Board approval of the mayor. That'll be here in, probably at the time we actually execute the agreement, which would be in 2 weeks.
Okay, all right.
So if you would award the contract to Gary Up, we can get the paperwork going, and you'll have all the completed information together at one time to actually execute the agreement, and funding will be available.
Okay, so you're good? Okay, then I will make a motion to award the contract to the lowest responsive and responsible bidder, which was Gary Up Construction of Gary, Indiana.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you for the latitude.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? Those with rental registration hearings, just stand by. We'll get you a copy of the paperwork. You're going to need to go downstairs and pay your money. And you're on.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.